and welcome to every episode reviews. I don't know why I said it like that. Doing a little different this time, but before we get into that, if you don't know what every episode reviews are, I just review every episode to some TV, some anime, or just whatever the fuck. And today we're reviewing every episode of Death Note. Not the anime, the new live action series that is currently airing, and basically if I usually try to encourage people to watch alongside me with these, otherwise, because I'm going over the episode, there's going to be spoilers in that. If you've already seen the show, great, you can see my reactions to it. If not, I encourage you to watch an episode, come back, watch an episode, come back, or just marathon it all, then marathon this fucking beast of a video that I'm sure it will be, because these episodes are 71 minutes long, and I got pages of fucking notes, because there's a lot of shit that goes down. And, yeah, with that being said, let's just jump right into it. So, big episode. Usually I'd like to have the episode titles, but I couldn't find the episode titles anywhere on Crunchyroll. They're just untitled, and I'm just like, well, what the fuck do I do with that? So, I'll just have episode 1, episode 2, whatever the fuck. I'll have disclaimers so you can jump to each episode like I usually do. This is episode 1. It is currently untitled. I'm sure we'll get a name eventually. But we open up off, for background information, because I have seen the anime. I love the anime. It's up there with my faves, even though I haven't seen nearly as much anime as I would like to. But I've seen a pretty good amount, and Death Note, it's up there with like all my other faves. So, as I know there are also the live action movies, I'm not as familiar with those. I have seen clips of them on YouTube, and I got a feel for the movies. The live action US version that will eventually come out, maybe, probably not. I haven't seen that, obviously, because at the time of this video, if it ever does come out, it obviously hasn't come out at this point. So that's where I stand with Death Note, and so that's what I'm going in to this series with. In episode 1, we open off, and Light, he's a very different Light. He's more innocent. He evolves from like this almost nerdy, shy, in the anime he was just a bored genius, and that's kind of what we had. In this, he's a lot more like, almost like down to earth, nice. He's going to Misa, to basically we just know her as this famous chick in this anime, and he's going to her concert in this. He likes her, which is kind of just like backwards if you're familiar with Death Note. And he's a lot more of a nerd, and even though he's smart, which it totally includes that from the anime, but he's not like this super like genius, like I'm gonna get $1 million job just from like half-assing my way through life. Basically, he's like smart, but he's like, I don't really want to get a full-time like big job. I just want to live peacefully and go day to day through my life. And like I related to that because I have a like similar philosophy. Like I don't need like a big house or a all like super cool like job. I just kind of like I want to like live humbly, and I related to that like monologue with himself a lot. And basically the part where it's like, yeah, he's just like a nerd, is there is a bully character. He is a typical, like, every bully character in like every show has been like, I'm gonna bully you because I'm a bad guy, and this character doesn't last long, we'll get into that. But every show, I know some shows are like, oh, he's a bully, but this is why. But almost every bully character is just an unlikable. The actor is kind of overacting, which some of the actors kind of do. There are problems with the show. The budget isn't quite there. There's a lot, like the fake blood. I know, like, from what I know just from Japanese live action, like, it's not, that's kind of typical. But, and just, that being said, with the Japanese live action, like, I'm just enjoying seeing just, like, different camera styles and just like, because we all use film and stuff similarly, but when you like have these isolated countries that are just taking influences from themselves and build like separately, it's very like just cool to go over to that side of the ocean, just see like film and how they're doing it differently. That being said, he runs into this generic bully character, who's they met in high school, and he basically is like trying to. In high school, he always take money from Light and his nerdy friend, and which this is very different from the original Death Note, because this didn't happen at all. And the nerdy, or the bully character basically came back, and he's like, he basically needs money, so he's gonna try to get it from his old nerdy friends from high school, and he's like, I need however much money. I don't understand Japanese currency, although he's like, I need this much money by tomorrow. Takes Light's phone even, and then at this point I'm just like, call the police. Like, and then they can follow you to this scene where I'm sure he's gonna threaten you, because he like threatened him with a knife. I'm sure like you can bring your dad's a fucking police officer. You can do something about this. It's not like whatever, it's plot hole, whatever, or like dumb, yeah. And then, on his way home from this encounter, a Death Note, if you're familiar from the classic Death Note, it's a notebook, you write someone's name in it, they're dead. And it dropped from the sky, a little more purposefully than in the anime. In the anime, it just kind of plopped, and Light randomly got it out of everyone in the world. In this case, we saw Ryuk staring at Light. You obviously, if you've seen the full episode, you know Ryuk is, we see he drops it much more purposefully, because he already saw the encounter before. So he chooses Light, we know that, whereas in the anime it was much more random. But, and the Death Note's in English, and I love that in this anime where Light isn't like, super genius, he translates it. He gets an English-Japanese translator, and he translates it. I like that. It was just like little stuff like that. The live action is more fleshed out, like, because they have like so much more time. So I'm enjoying aspects like that. But basically, he writes the bully's name, and then he's like, "This is just fucking stupid." Like, it was just like a nerve, like. Because even his friend was like, God, I wish he would just die, which was like, he said something like that, which is just, a little, coincidental, or just like, whatever. But yeah, Light writes the bully's name, and then he's like, this is stupid, and he scratches it out. And he tries to erase it at first, and I really like that, because he can't erase it, and like the Death Note, like, you feel the burden of it a lot more in this show, and you can see the toll it's taking on Light, even if he's overacting, like, oh, you fucker, like, he is overacting a little bit, but, he's a lot more emotional, and you can feel, because he's so nice at first, and you can feel just this Death Note almost, like, killing him. And he's like trying to justify it, even though it's like, because, but we'll get into that. But the bully dies. It's like still the first 10 minutes of the show, so who gives a fuck about the bully character? And just Light is very innocent. And then we get into Light's dad, who's like, I really like what they did here. Basically, Light's mom, she basically was passing away. And during this time, Light's dad was working hard on catching this like big time criminal, and this was a big push for his career. And he kind of chooses his career over, over his wife's passing, which was a little just like, what the fuck. I was very kind of taken back to that. But basically, like, I felt like that was a big, like, oh, this is why Light's doing this, like, because he's like given this huge sense of injustice, and like it's much more personal than just like, oh, I'm randomly trying to do something that won't bore me. Like, it was I like that a lot more. And just like his mom is dead and his dad is too busy like fighting off these criminals that will never end. There's always going to be more criminals who are just going to murder people because they're sick fuckos. And like I can see like Light's reasoning in his head more than I did in the anime, where he's just, you know, bored, I guess. And it was more forced. But not saying that this show is better than the anime. It's I've only seen one episode. But yeah, basically this crazy dude, the crazy dude comes back. He gets out or something. He's just kind of back, and then and basically he has a big thing for Light's dad. He's randomly, because you know he caught him. He's like, "Fuck you! I'm gonna kill you one day." So he gets this family hostage, and Light's dad steps in for like the little girl, and they switch, and so now he's about to kill Light's dad, and Light kind of pulls the trigger, theoretically, but with a pen on this crazy dude, and it's like you feel, because in the show he's like, I'll try this again, and it's like it's kind of like at random. He's like seeing these random criminals in the show, whereas in this, you can feel like he's much more like knowledgeable. Like, yeah, this will probably kill him, but I'm saving my dad. And at this point, he's like, I have killed 2 people. Like, I'm a murderer. And you can see like just like that's the thing, when people like do bad things, like, oh, I like accidentally like ran over like this cat and it's like a terrible thing. They're much more like going to justify that for themselves. Like, if someone like ran over like your pet and someone else ran it over, you'd be like, fuck that person. But if you were in that situation, you'd be like more like justify it for yourself. And it's like, I feel just like him trying to just like, I can feel like the pain in his head at this, and he's just trying to justify it, and he's turning that in to this crazy Light that we are almost given by the end of the episode. I just wrote a note after that, just like the overacting. Ryuk after that appears to Light, and Ryuk looks like sci-fi garbage. He looks fucking terrible. I saw him like in the movie and I was like, that's pretty bad. No, this is really bad. Ryuk looks so shitty. I can't even like, he like, it totally feels like someone just put him there and like Light's reacting in a room by himself. But I like the take they're giving Ryuk, because I really love Ryuk as a character. He was almost like my favorite at one point when I had this theory about him that he was the one actually behind the Death Note. I might do a video on that one day, but basically Light, let's talk about Ryuk more. He's basically almost feeding Light more, like he's trying to antagonize him, right? Because he wants the world to be interesting. Like, Ryuk is the bored one. And before, like, I did like how Light and Ryuk were just like these bored, like, higher beings. Light isn't really, he's just a fucked up madman, but you get what I'm saying. But also I liked when Light saw Ryuk, he just freaked out. He was just like, ah, which is a lot more like realistic, I guess, because Ryuk's a scary looking motherfucker. He really is. And after this, Light actually tries to throw the notebook over a building, and then he's like literally about to commit suicide. Like, he's at that point. And then Ryuk shows up again. You know, he's like trying to get in Light's head, and he says something weird. He says like, you are possessed by a Shinigami, which was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, possess? I know there are theories. There was a OVA thing where Light, some people believed he became a Shinigami after he died. But, I had no idea what he's, like, that's a theory right there. Like, he's being possessed by a Shinigami. And then he says, off the bat, like, and we learned this way down the line in the original Death Note. But basically, he's like the user of a Death Note can go to heaven or hell, and like so Light, I don't know if I like him already knowing that, but he's like, well, I'm already fucked. So yeah, and then we start to get the introduction of L, which is like episode 2 in the original Death Note, and we get this clip of L in England, and he's like investigating, and there's this weird product placement, like it's like I forget what it was called. It was like charged, like something, I don't know. And he's just he keeps fucking drinking and eating that. I'm like, what the fuck? And to be honest, so far I don't like this version of L. He's not wearing he's wearing shoes, and we'll get into that. Basically at this point, Lights, he's moved on. He's basically like ridden down like 50 people, and even he's like, oh god, like how many people have I killed? And yeah, and the world is reacting. You know, they're starting to be like, oh, this is Kira doing this, and like, oh, like there's a guy out there and he's taking care of the world's criminals. And there's even like this Japanese like Facebook page dedicated to Kira, and I was like, perspective, you know. And meanwhile, Ryuk is in the background. He's very energetic, and he's like really trying to hard to hit these jokes. And I was almost reminded of like a Disney character. You know, sometimes they'll have these comedic relief characters who are trying too hard. He reminded me like of the robot from Treasure Planet. Like that's how hard he was trying to hit these jokes, and some of them were okay, some of them whatever. But he isn't a comedic relief character. He's more than that. And then we meet Watery, L's proxy. I love this version of Watery because in the anime he's kind of just like he's like Alfred. Like he's L's Alfred. He's like very official. Like oh, with my mustache and well, what do you need? Like and then this it's like this little Japanese guy, and he's like so nice, and he's just like. He's funny, and at one point he's like spraying Light's dad with like it's disinfectant spray, like L is very sensitive. Yeah, and then there was also this cool scene with like L standing over a city like some kind of superhero gotta stand over the city ominously, and then Ryuk was flying, and it was like the only cool thing CGI wise he did, probably just because he's like you can't see him very well, but yeah, just it was a cool like just like artistically, and any character who stands like that is thinking about some shit, and you don't know what they're thinking. It's overused as hell, and it's kind of stupid, and it's been mocked before, but I don't know, it was cool to me. And then I just wrote fake blood here, so I assume I was ranting about, you know, the fake blood in the show looking really fake. And then the scene, it was a lot like the anime, if not like, kind of just ripped, like the story was the same, which I expected the whole live action series to kind of just be the same in all honesty, but this was the same. Basically, L sets up this fake, soon to be executed prisoner, and he's basically just kind of like pretending to be L, and then like kills him, and you know that's the first innocent he's killed, and everyone sees it, and like L steps in like, oh, so I know you need a name and a face, and I only aired this in the Kanto Japanese region, so I know you're there. I'm coming after you, Light, or Akira, sorry. And you know, Light is fucking freaking out, like the overacting again. He's like, oh, no, whoa, and I'm just like, chill out, bro. Like, I know it's a big deal to you, but like bad shit happens. I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. And basically, after this, I wrote L has shoes, frowny face. So I guess I was upset about that. And then after this, Light tries to, you know, because L has found out that basically it's probably a student doing this because they're writing it in non-school hours, and basically, so Light tries to, sorry, why would you have the same, like, Light and then L? You can see why it's confusing. Anyway, so Light is trying to make the time of deaths of these people outside the school hours. Basically, I don't know, I think that's gonna backfire in the next episode. It basically does, spoiler to episode 2, basically, he's like, well, this was only something the police would know about, so I know that Kira is now, he knows police information, so he knows he's probably connected with the Japanese police force within that area. So yeah, so Light's fucking up all over the place. And then we got Misa's, the person who murdered her, like, family. This is something, again, pretty down the road, but basically, the murderer of Misa. Misa is going to be a big character for those watching alongside me, like, first episode. And if you didn't watch the anime, which you probably did, you probably know all about Misa. Basically, her family got murdered, and this was, again, way down the line in Death Note, but, so Light kills the murderer as he's, like, on the way out of the jail. And at that point, that's about it. We get the last shot. Again, well, before that, L meets with Light's father, and, they're starting their little conspiracy. Basically, the episode kind of just ran out before we could get into more cooler stuff. And in the last shot, we get a little moment with Nier and his brother, Mel something. The second half of Death Note, I'm not as big a fan of, so that's why I don't even give a shit about Nier or his, or the other guy, which is a little unfair, going into the anime. But even, did they have a girl playing Nier? Like, it was a little boy, if not girl, and I don't know what the fuck was Mello, which I believe his name is. I probably am wrong. He was like a fucking puppet. Like, I'm like, where are you taking this? And all these characters that are revealed in episode 1. What are you doing? How many? I don't even know how many episodes there are. There's at least like 5 at this point. And I'm gonna have to watch them all, so that's gonna be fun. And basically, usually I do 2. I like to watch a series and then do the every episode reviews, like later down the line. But I don't think I'm gonna watch this series again. So this is probably usually when I think I don't think I'm gonna watch it again. It's just a first reaction, which this is, and we have episode 1 down, and this was already pretty fucking long. Episode 2 will be coming. Basically, I really like it so far. I think L's actor, he's just making faces and he's wearing shoes, and it's just like, you're not L. L's a lot cooler than you. Sorry. And then I like Light's character. I like the new spin they're taking on a lot of this. I like that they're fleshing out the story and kind of giving more, like, reason for a lot of this stuff. Like, not to say that Light was just like this stupid mass murderer in the anime, but like he had his moments where I'm just like, dude, why your reasoning doesn't make sense. Just because you're this super smart guy who's way above me, like, mentally, doesn't mean you're gonna randomly kill people for lack of boredom or due to boredom. With that being said, I'm gonna rate this pretty high. I'm gonna give this episode a 5 out of 5. Episode 1, not titled yet. Episode 1, 5 out of 5. It was really good. I wasn't expecting, like, all that. I was kind of expecting just kind of like a shitty, I don't know what I was expecting, but I didn't think they'd add this much to the story. I didn't think you could do more with Death Note, but they're proving me wrong, and I'm interested to see where it goes. It could go really badly. Like, I think, like, some of the stuff with Nier's L in general could be, like, going to some places I don't like, and then there's a character death somewhere, and I don't know how that's gonna affect the series, and the stuff with Misa, and what are they gonna do there. That being said, episode 1, we got it down. Hope you guys are having fun. On to episode 2. Alright, we have our second episode of... Fuck, my shit's falling everywhere. We have our second episode of Death Note, the live action show. Episode 2, again, the episodes are untitled at this point, so it's just gonna be episode 2. Sorry if that's a problem. This episode was only 45 minutes compared to the last one, which was like 70 minutes. I was like, God damn, I don't know if I can do 70 minutes every time, but thankfully, I hope they like stay at this length, because I can't do 70 minutes. But yeah, we pick up right where we left off. L is like suspecting Light's family, like he's like in the anime, he's like really just connecting it to the police, and Light's the most suspicious. And then Light, he like runs some tests on some prisoners. He's seeing what he can do. He's like, oh, before this guy dies, I just stepped on something very sharp. Before this guy dies, I'm gonna make him like write something on the wall. And this guy, I'm gonna tell to jump off the Eiffel Tower. But since he obviously can't do that, he just screams Eiffel Tower. So that's what happens. After that, Ryu kind of explains the whole Shinigami eyes. This is the first introduction we've had to it. And basically he tells like, if you have the Shinigami eyes, you can see a person's lifespan and their name. He doesn't make the deal, like he doesn't offer the deal to Light like he does in anime. In the anime he says, I can give you Shinigami eyes for like the cost of half of your life. He doesn't say that in the anime, so I thought that was interesting. I'm seeing where that goes. And Misa, he saw, only has 5 days left, right? She's gonna die in 5 days. After that, L, he appoints Light's dad as the head of, just the Kira investigations. And Light is, because he's a big fan of Misa in this anime. Because Light's pretty much like they're really trying to make him a good guy, and L kind of a bad guy, as much as they can. That really kind of defeats the point of Death Note, but this is a completely different version of Death Note, so I can see like what they're doing, and I'm not like saying they shouldn't. But we're first reactions. That's what these are. There's also a scene with Ryu dancing. He was watching Misa on the TV, and he was dancing, and I found that hilarious. Ryu really is trying on these jokes. Every time he's seen, he's trying to make a joke, and they're not always that great, and he's really forcing them. Then we got L. Oh yeah, like Light's looking all this shit up on the internet. Like in the anime, he's like secretly like watching like TVs in like a potato chip bag and shit like that. In this, I'm like, why doesn't L just check his internet? Like, it says, like, oh, you pulled up all these criminals, and they died, like, 40 seconds later, so maybe there's a connection there, I don't know. Also, we get another moment with Nier. He's on the phone with L, and they're just... Mellow's, he's just a fucking puppet, I guess, in this. They're like, fuck Mellow. Who the fuck is Mellow? They don't care about that character, I guess. And they're like, oh, we gotta put him in there some way. How about Nier just likes fucking dolls, and he has a Mellow doll. Whatever. And L, like, I'm gonna have a small rant about L, because I see what they're doing. They're trying to make him more bad guy-like, and he doesn't have his mannerisms. He did do the cell phone thing, how L holds up his phone like this. He just kind of dangles it. But he's never like slouched. He's not like in the dark. He's like, he just kicks his feet up, and he's so fucking like cocky, and he makes these faces like that L would never make. He gets like these like smirks like, I'm such a wonderful bastard. And like, I don't like the actor like who's playing him. I don't like this interpretation of L. Like, even if you tried to make L a bad guy, you couldn't make L a bad guy. Like, he does some pretty sketchy shit. Like, and if you just added like a little like like just mean spirit to that, like, because L, he's just kind of like objective and analytical, but if you just added like a mean spirit to what he does, he's pretty much evil. Like L is not like this big savior even in the anime. And he also has this like weird condition. I don't know why he keeps taking his shirt off and putting on another one. Like, and like you'll look at his butler Watame, I'm forgetting his name, and they like are like, oh shit, you're conditioned, and he can't be exposed to outside air or something. I don't know where they're going with that, but another thing about Light, they're really trying to make him like paint him as a good guy, like, cause he's like saying I want to protect people, like, and I'll delve into that more later, but we get this recreation of the bus scene that was in the anime. Basically, in the anime, he kind of finds a way to kill Ray Penber, and in the anime, he was like darkly looking over him, like, and he like went about his day. He like that's who Light was in the anime. Like these innocent people, he like by the end of the show, he was just like taunting them as he murdered them. And in this show, he's not like, no, he's like, but I'll say what happens in the bus scene. Basically, he tells this criminal, he forces him with the death note to basically, fuck, I'm forgetting my words. He forces him to like check everyone's stuff, and that way Light can get his name. He just does this to get the name, which is a lot less complicated than in the anime. And so Light gets his name, Ray Penber, who that's who it was in the anime, and he also sees like a picture of him and his girlfriend. And then he tries to make Ray Penber go up to L, boom, kill him, then kill himself. That doesn't really happen, but we'll get to that. The show, it does stuff, it's kind of like The Walking Dead, like, they don't want the fans of the original source material to know what's gonna happen, so they switch it, and they do it cleverly, like, they don't pander, like, and repeat stuff we already know. They take what we already know and make, like, it cooler, but not, like, in a way we expected. So I really like that. I feel like they actually care, is what I'm trying to say. But we go back to the Misa Mane thing. Basically, Misa had like this camera guy throughout the episode who was like stalking her, and we were supposed to like expect, oh, that guy's gonna kill her. But then there's this security officer that even talked to Light, and it turns out he's like the one that's all weird stalker eyes, like. He reminded me of the dude from Sword Art Online 2. Whatever. But he accidentally kind of pushes Misa down the stairs, and we expect she's dead, but no one believes that. And then Misa wakes up, that guy's dead, the security officer guy is dead, and boom, Death Note is dropped from the heavens, and then Rem appears. And Rem, like, it might just been like an entrance thing, but she looks more natural than Ryuk. I didn't pay attention to how shitty she looked on her first reaction, so maybe that was just, I don't know. And then the big ending, L calls Light on the phone, and he's like, I see what you tried to do there, Light. His name isn't actually Ray Penber, and he's with me right now. Ray Penber isn't dead, that's not his actual name. He gave him a false name, and L is like, you're Kira, aren't you? And L is like, you're Kira, aren't you? And Light's just like, fuck. And we kind of just shut off at that point, and damn, that was, they really, because Light felt really bad about killing Ray. Like, he's like, if someone's against Kira, I'll erase them. But he was like, just, like, it flashed back to him and his girlfriend. And even though he still wrote his name and tried to kill him, like, you can see he's not comfortable with that. And just, like, him, like, being a nerd who, like, likes Misa Amane, whereas before he, in the anime, was a pretty cold, heartless bitch. They're trying to paint him as a good guy, as much as you can, like a mass-murdering lunatic. And they're trying to make L more antagonistic and more like, you're Kira, aren't you? I got you now, bitch. Like, they're trying to do something, but I think because I'm reading the comments, I don't think everyone's getting that, and like I think they should do like make the show like where it's like all like red, blue, and black, like, and they should have light be blue and L be red to make it flip it compared to the anime. If you haven't watched the anime, you probably don't know what I'm talking about, but I assume you do because everyone's fucking seen Death Note. That's about all I have to say about this episode. I wasn't expecting it to be this good. It's really good. I'm gonna give episode 2 a 4 out of 5. It is pretty damn good. I'm very excited. I'm just excited to see where they take this stuff, because Death Note, I remember watching these early episodes, and this is giving me nostalgia for it, because it was like the first like anime that I just watched and fell in love with to like an extreme extent. And I thought like the writing was just phenomenal until like the second half, where I was just like, oh god, what are they doing? And like to see what I thought like a while back was like the most amazing writing, to see that flipped on itself is like amazing in itself. So episode 2, 4 out of 5. I'm really enjoying it. I'll see you guys on episode 3, Transition. So holy fucking shit, right? Episode 3 review, still untitled. New location. I might film a couple reviews, or episode reviews back to back. Right quick. Basically, I'm watching it, it's out of frame right now, but I'm watching this on my TV, and I want to say, like, real quick, like, that kind of made a difference. I thought the cameras were kind of shitty, like, watching on the computer, but watching on TV, like, no, this is high definition, it actually looks really good. So, props to that, the show actually does look good. It kind of looked low budget, before, but, yeah. Also, we're on episode 3. Usually by the third episode with TV shows, everyone's kind of in the groove of things. They know their characters. Like we have we are moving forward. Like you might be saying episode 3, like how, like that's kind of early on still. But with TV, there's a lot of scenes. There's a lot of fucking filming, locations. Like people by episode 3 have gotten their fucking shit down, and we are in the groove of the live action series. And first off, we start off L talking on the phone with Light like, I got you now, motherfucker, your time is up, my time is now, like shit like that. And Kira's just like, oh fuck, or Light. And L is just whooping ass in this show, until the ending, of course, but we'll get to that. But he was just fucking whooping ass, like I got you, I know who you are, but because the call made it seem like he knew that was Kira, but we learned that he called a bunch of people and like just the prime suspects, and Light is one of those prime suspects. And like I think I'm starting to realize what the series is doing. I thought they were going for Light is going to be a good guy and L is going to be kind of more like a bad guy. Not really. It's going to be Death Note, but it's going to be a more normal transition from Light, the like good, like nerdy in this like sensible human, like to the insane badass. Where in the show that wasn't like a big transition. We're just seeing a more relatable human version of this character morph into what he later becomes. That's my theory anyway. And again, he's still just like, he's doing human things. He tries to destroy the Death Note after he comes home after this big defeat. He just is like, fuck this thing, and he tries to destroy the Death Note. And Ryuk's like, what are you doing? And he doesn't actually. And then we got the basically Light's father comes home and he like is suspecting Light of questions and blah blah blah, and it wasn't actually about that. It was about the one cop. It doesn't really matter. But Light's father in the show, he has a much more predominant role than in the TV show, or in the anime, I'm sorry. In this, he's almost like a big staple of Light's character. In the anime, it's just like, oh cool, wow, look at that. His dad's a cop. That's ironic. In this, it's like, no, he's the son of this cop turning into Kira. It's not like the other way around. And literally just like Light has this idea as a child of becoming a police officer. And you know, police officers, they're police officers. They're not like these crusaders of justice or anything. Especially if they live in Ferguson or Baltimore. Anyway, Light, we have that part where he's constructing his super drawer, where it's like if someone opens it, it'll like burst into flames and destroy the Death Note, unless he opens it his secret way. So that was really cool. And then Ryuk finally made the Shinigami Eye offer, where if you accept, you lose half your lifespan, but you can see everyone's name and lifespan. So, but he didn't take it, obviously, considering he still has it. And if I'm comparing this a lot to the anime, I'm sorry. That's it. The anime is just this TV show. I can't separate it like how I would like maybe like a book movie thing. No, this is Death Note. I'm gonna compare it to the anime. I'm sorry. So let's just get that out there. There was also a really good scene where Light was just scheming. He was like scheming how he's gonna take over the FBI, and he's like, and then Ryuk said, "You have Kira's face," and he was like, "I can't make the Shinigami offer because I have too much to do," and it was just, I don't know. I really like that scene. It was executed really good. After that, this is why we have notes. We have the big, I guess, part of the show, basically, and it's a genius. Light, he's gonna try to take out the whole FBI, and he's like, he calls, or he like kind of gets Ray to sit at this certain location, and in this location he has like a microphone to talk to him, and he's like, hey, and remember, because in the last episode he saw a picture of his wife with her name, and so he's like, if you don't do what I say, I'm gonna kill her. And he makes him write down all the names of the FBI agents, and obviously he knows their faces, and it's revealed that that is actually a part of the Death Note, and he actually made Ray become a quick little beholder of the Death Note, so he's not going to heaven or hell, which is just fucked up and icing on the cake. God damn it, people be interrupting me. God, it's like I'm trying to work here, guys, you know? What the fuck? So yeah, basically, I don't even know what was I talking about? I think I was talking about Ray and how he was gonna die. Ooh, interesting. Basically, like, I say the word like a lot, I'm sorry. Light, he gets Ray to go to the certain spot. At that point, he makes him write everyone's name, including his own, master scheme. But when Light gets to the designated area, Ray didn't write his name. He's a smart cookie. He has a gun. He's about to shoot the motherfucker. Then he drops dead. Boom. Misa killed him. She has her own death now, as we learned in the last episode. Rem looks like shit, just gonna say. And then, the whole FBI, boom, they're completely gone from the case. After their agents died, the FBI was like, nope, we're done, Kira's too much. And then, I want to talk about Misa a little bit, because Misa, she's turning into her anime character a little bit more. Her anime character is fucking scary, okay? Basically, like, because Light and L are geniuses, and Light having the power to destroy so many people, which he shouldn't have the power to, that's scary. Misa is like a Justin Bieber fangirl logic. That's what's in her mind, or at least in anime, which she's more intelligent in the show and more realistic, which I appreciate. It's a different character, pretty much. But it's scary that might come a thing. Like, I'm scary that person having the Death Note is scary, especially because she made the Shin Megami ideal, which is like, no, you don't do that. Like, she didn't even have a reason to. Like, who are you? You didn't know you were gonna save light? My hair looked really fucking stupid a couple seconds ago. I look like the dude from fucking Nightcrawler. God, okay, I think we're gonna end the episode review there, because that's basically where it ended. Ryuk was like, things are getting interesting, and it really fucking is. I'm really enjoying the show, the live action version. I don't know if it'll be as good as the anime. That's a tough, slope to get over, because it was like Death Note special to me, because it was like the first show I watched, like, this is an anime. This is what anime is. Let's watch an entire series and let it engross us. That being said, let's go with this mother up. I'm gonna give this episode a 5 out of 5. Boom, motherfucker. Oh, God, I am energetic today. I'm sorry. I'll see you guys in the next, I've decided I'm gonna put the episode things in parts, so this will be the end part 1. I will see you guys soon. Have a wonderful day. I love you so much. Don't kill me with your notebooks.